Hi everyone, this is Brian Hayes and welcome to episode 31 of the Music Mind podcast. Today we look at the third volume in our series on collaborations. Here we're going to review all of the music collaborations between host and guest from episodes 22 through to episode 30. In episode 22 I got to introduce Jamie Rigg, one of Australia's most successful musical directors. For close to 20 years, Jamie toured Australia and the world as MD for the late great Ricky May. As part of his work leading television bands, Jamie got to play with some of the greatest musicians in the world, including the late Glenn Frey of Eagles fame. Glenn turned up one night to a national TV broadcast, not for a musical performance, but for an interview on an unrelated aspect of his career. Glenn heard the band practicing and decided he'd like to sing Desperado, a song he co-wrote, one of the world's most recognisable tunes. And he asked the band if he could sit in live on TV and perform that with Jamie's band. Have a listen as Jamie now recounts his memory of that magic moment.
You know, Desperado? Sure, we know Desperado. What key do you want to do it in? That's usually how it rolls, you know?
Yeah, that's
just
right.
like someone jumping up at, at the
At
local
the club.
pub on
Yeah,
a Saturday night. Oh,
yeah.
do you guys know Desperado? Just happens to be Glenn Frey, you know?
Yeah.
So we rehearsed it. And there's one vocal line that he said, so you guys are going to have to sing this line, and you got to answer me when I sing, you got to let somebody love you. And you guys sing, let somebody love you.
That's
So there's Victor and I looking at each other.
pretty exposed in the vocal role.
God, and what are we here? We're trying to emulate the Eagles, one of the greatest vocal groups in the world. And we did. I said to Victor, I think I'll take that part, you take that part, and when Glenn sings that, we'll just answer him. Let somebody. And we did. And there it is on the recording. And after the show, Glenn came over and said, well done, guys. You did a great job. And Victor, I said, sorry about the vocal backing wasn't quite. He said, nah, that's fine. He said, the Eagles never got that part right either,
For our musical collaboration, Jamie asked if we could do a duet version of the famous Fats Wallace song, Ain't Misbehaving. Jamie had a memory of this being one of the first songs he heard his father sing and play at home beside the piano, at an age when Jamie couldn't even see up to the keyboard. Here's our version of Ain't Misbehaving. It features Jamie singing and playing piano, and I'm accompanying him on the bass clarinet.
I don't go out late, nowhere to go. I'm home about 8, just me and my radio. Ain't misbehaving, saving all my love for you. I know for certain the one I love. I'm through with flirting, it's you that I'm thinking of. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving all my love for you. Like Jack Horner, who's in the corner, I don't go nowhere, what do I care? Your kiss is worth waiting for. Believe me, baby, now, no one to talk with, I'm all by myself. No one to walk with, I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving, I'm saving all my love for you. Take it away, Brian. corner, I'm in the corner. I don't go nowhere. What do I care? Your kiss is worth waiting for. Believe me, baby, now, no one to talk with. I'm all by myself. No one to walk with. I'm happy on the shelf. Ain't misbehaving. I'm saving all my love for you. I ain't misbehaving. I'm saving all my love for you. Oh, yeah.
In episode 23, I got to introduce one of Australia's truly great guitar players, Michael Fix. When Michael was a young man, he had the opportunity to take lessons from perhaps nowadays the most acclaimed acoustic guitarist in the world, Tommy Emmanuel. Let's have a listen as Michael recounts his memory of the first lesson he took with the great Tommy Emmanuel.
I started to see him regularly at the Musicians Club and asking for lessons. And he was, I didn't realize at the time how busy he was. He was a busy guy, very, very busy guy. But he saw that I was super keen. And so he invited me to his place and we sat down. And first question was, have you heard of Chet Atkins? And I hadn't. And he put a record on. And the tune that was playing, the tune called Liebestraum.
Yeah.
And, all the elements are there of that Chet bass, that muted percussive bass, the melody singing over the top, and I genuinely thought I was listening to two players.
Absolutely.
And of course, Tommy then played it for me. And when you see what's possible as well as hear it, it's quite mind blowing when it's there right in front of you.
For my collaboration with Michael, we got to play one of his own compositions, Peace of Mind, a beautiful solo acoustic guitar piece. And I sat in on the concert flute. In episode 24 of the podcast series, I got to introduce Liam Ward, an amazing blues harmonica player based in London. Liam is somewhat of a internet harmonica sensation. His how to play videos have helped tens of thousands of people be introduced to the wonderful little instrument that is the harmonica. Let's have a listen to Liam talk briefly about the power of the internet.
I'd seen a couple of people on YouTube teaching harmonica. So there was an American guy, Adam Gusso, and there was a French lady, Christelle Berton. They were the first two I saw. And it dawned on me that the internet is this huge thing.
Massive.
And YouTube was becoming bigger and bigger. And I thought, hang on, I know that these harmonica players in other countries that I didn't live in and didn't visit, I know they exist and I'm aware of them, and I think these are great harmonica players because they're putting lessons on YouTube.
Yes.
So I thought, well, I'll do that, and maybe someone will enjoy my teaching.
Yes.
But I thought that then that would lead to session work. It didn't, and I do now get session work, but I think it's probably just happened more organically.
For our collaboration, Liam and I came up with a simple blues that we call the UK Oz Blues. It features Liam's amazing harmonica playing, and I'm playing the lap steel guitar. My guest for episode 25 is the highly successful Australian session guitarist, Clive Lendich. Clive is based in Sydney, Australia, but he's also toured the world for some of the top name entertainers, including the Manhattan Transfer and Neil Sedaka. Let's have a listen as Clive retells the story of him asking Neil Sedaka why he chose him, an Australian-based guitarist, to be Neil's resident guitarist for touring the world.
And I'd done the tour of Sedaka around the Hilton circuits, and at the end they offered me the job full-time in LA, offered to fly me over, and my wife, Anita,
yes,
and my baby who was just been born over.
Yes.
And I'm thinking, why are they doing this? And Years later, I talked to him about it, and he said, because you played to make me look good.
Wow.
And I think that was really important. He said, you didn't care about how you look. It wasn't all about Mr. Guitar Player, the fanboy in the hair. It wasn't about all that. He said, you made me look good. You supported my voice. You kept out of the way in the right spots. And I learned a lot from him saying that to me. Unconsciously, I was doing that. And I've always realized my role as a guitar player is to make the artist look good.
For the collaboration for this episode, Clive asked if we could do an instrumental version of the Shaker song, a tune made famous by Spyro Gyra. Clive is playing nylon string and electric guitars on this clip, and I'm joining in on the alto saxophone. In episode 26, we got to meet Graham Jesse, one of Australia's most successful arrangers, composers and multi-instrumentalists. Graham has been a mainstay on the national TV bands and also has led a successful career as an arranger. I was interested in asking Graham how he developed his music theory knowledge.
Well, I think I've got reasonably good ears, so that kind of helped. Also, in high school, I did music as an elective subject. And in that era, it was very focused on four-part choral writing, a lot of harmony, a lot of that stuff. So, and it's funny, it was just a language that made sense to me pretty much right from the start when I first started playing music. So, Yeah,
came naturally
yes,
to you.
It comes naturally to me. And I think that foundation I got in high school was just absolutely perfect because, as you know, we talk about jazz harmony, blah, 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 but it's all from the same basic harmony that goes back to Bach's era.
For our collaboration, Graham asked if it was possible for me to play the steel guitar in support of his alto flute on the jazz standard Blue Bossa. This may well be the only recording in existence where the pedal steel guitar and the alto flute take the lead roles in the all-time classic jazz standard. Episode 27 featured New York-based jazz violinist Tomoko Omura. It was interesting to learn that whilst Tomoko has become a virtuoso on the jazz violin, she wasn't always drawn to that instrument.
And violin, I felt like it was the least instrument that I could express myself. I used to also play piano and accompany the choir when I was in the elementary school. The violin felt like not so natural. And though I was in a youth orchestra and I just enjoyed playing the music, but not really enthusiastic about the violin.
For our collaboration, and I guess not surprisingly given Tomoko's long-term commitment to jazz in New York City, she asked if we could do a version of Charlie Parker's Ornithology. Tomoko's playing the jazz violin and I'm playing some jazz guitar on my original Gibson ES345 electric guitar. In episode 28, we got to meet Travis Toy, one of Nashville's top pedal steel guitarists. Travis is currently the touring steel guitarist with country music superstar Luke Bryan. Luke regularly performs to massive audiences of 40,000 or more people. I got to ask Travis, what is it like playing to such massive audiences?
once there's a couple thousand people, like what's the difference between that and whatever 40? I mean, I guess there is, but it's fun. There's a definite there's an energy that's sort of not able to be experienced, I think, in any other way other than standing on a stage, with somebody that's got, of 30 or 40,000 people just kind of losing their minds over that person, and kind of, I mean, they're not losing their mind over me. They're losing their mind over Luke, but by proximity, I'm standing right next to the guy, so I'm receiving the energy, and it's fun. Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you do it a lot, you get used to it.
For our collaboration, Travis asked if we could do a duet version of the beautiful Disney classic, When You Wish Upon a Star. Travis is playing beautiful solo pedal steel, and I join in on the concert flute. In episode 29, my special guest was ukulele master, Canadian-based James Hill. I got to ask James if he suffered from stage fright, and if he did, how did he deal with it?
Sometimes, people would say, don't you get nervous? Don't you get nervous before a concert? And I, in the early years, I would say, well, yeah, of course I get nervous. I hope people like it, and I hope I do good, And then as I got a bit older, my answer would change. People would say, do you get nervous, for a concert? And I'd say, I don't really get nervous that people will like it or dislike it. I think people are going to feel the way they feel. I only get nervous that I might not do right by the music, that I might not deliver the music the way I want to deliver it. That music is almost like a member of the band, and I want to do the right thing for the music.
For our collaboration, James asked if we could do a duet version of the Duke Ellington jazz classic, Satin Doll. James does a wonderful vocal version here, accompanying himself on the ukulele, and I get to also solo on my concert ukulele.
Cigarette holder which wigs me over her shoulder, satin door. Baby, shall we go out skipping? Careful, amigo, you're flipping. Speaks Latin, that satin door. She's nobody's fool, so I'm playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no girl catching me. Telephone numbers, well, you know, doing my rubbers with Uno, and that my satin door. Take one, Brian. I'll take one. She's nobody's fool, so I'm playing it cool as can be. I'll give it a whirl, but I ain't for no girl catching me. Switching telephone numbers, well, you know, doing my rumbers with Uno, and that my satin door, my satin door, my satin door.
In episode 30, we got to meet Jodi Proznick, a Canadian-based musician who is considered to be one of that country's top acoustic jazz bass players. I got to ask Jodi what she looks for when looking for musicians to play with.
I love playing with musicians who have that sort of wide-eyed, deep listening energy. And I think it's that deep listening and that generosity of spirit, that's connected to these core values of playing with a beautiful sound and playing with time, a great time feel, being able to trust your own internal time, and then lock in with the people you're playing with to find that collective beat. I think all those principles are really important. And then finally, the last principle would be just to be aware of your harmonic options and be able to adjust and adapt if you're hearing the soloist go somewhere or the drummer go somewhere, either with, rhythmic stuff or harmonic stuff, that you're able to kind of shift on a dime, respond, or choose not to.
For our final collaboration in this Volume 3 series, Jodi asked if we could do The Autumn Leaves, a jazz standard that was in fact the very first song she ever learned to play on the upright acoustic bass. I'm playing clarinet, Jodi's playing bass. I hope you enjoy our version of The Autumn Leaves.